Hello, we are going to discuss from question number 51 in this test paper. It talks that Razia Sultan appointed Yaqut Khan, an Abyssinian noble, to an administrative post. Now understand that in the chronology of Delhi Sultanate, the first one was Iltutmish, the second was Razia Sultan, and the last one which our NCERT mentions is Balban. Now, it was basically Iltutmish who had started Chahalgani, or the group of 40 nobles, and these nobles were of Turkish origin, right? They were considered men of high aristocratic blood or purity. So this was broken up by Razia Sultan, and she had appointed somebody who was not a Turkish man to an administrative post. This statement is absolutely right, because she aimed to build a loyal support base which was independent of this Turkish nobility. This is absolutely right, and this Turkish nobility is your group of 40 nobles or Chehalgani. In the chronology, who will be the one who will completely break down this Chehalgani or group of 40? It will be Balban. Okay. The second question talks about, Delhi Sultanate in medieval India. It was followed up by the Khilji dynasty, further followed up by the Tughlaq dynasty, further followed up by the Sayyids, and followed up by the Lodhis, and then there was the Mughal Empire. So in the chronology, it was first Alauddin Khilji. He followed the policy of tolerance and inclusivity, right? Alauddin Khilji, he is known for his conquest of Gujarat and Chittor, right? If you remember the movie of Deepika Padukone, Padmavati, right? In that movie, it is shown that it was Alauddin Khilji who goes to the Chittor area and he tries to capture that whole fort, right? Another thing which is very significant over here is that although that story Padmavat was a mythological poetry written by J.C., but it is portrayed as a human interpretation. But another thing which is of significance over here is that this western part of India or the Gujarat area had always held a lot of significance, be it the time of the Shakas, Pratiharas and Kushanas, because this was the area from where foreigners had invaded Indian subcontinent, okay? Be it the time of Turkish invasion, right? Be it the time of Iranian invasion or the Macedonian invasion, which you study in your ancient Indian classes. And this was also important because this was the western port, or you can say in Gujarat, the Cambay. It was the area from where trade and commerce was carried on, international trade and commerce. Now understand that if you have a good international trade and commerce, definitely there is going to be a better coinage system. There is going to be a well-developed economy, and this will be a urban economy. And again, if you have a good economy system and money flourishing into your empire, coinage flourishing into your empire, definitely you can have a very good army, a strong army. The king can afford a strong army. So western part had always been very significant. Another thing also, that from the western part, it is said that the horses of good quality were brought in, right? That's why when we study the tripartite struggle in ancient India, towards the beginning of medieval India and end of ancient India, we see that it is the Pratiharas on the western part who are having a very good cavalry, right? So definitely western part or the conquest of Gujarat, you will see it in all the chronologies that this had held a lot of importance. So Alauddin Khilji, he had conquest of Gujarat and Chittor. Now, another one, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. This you will be studying that he was a very learned man, okay? But there were 5 experiments of him, which Satish Chandra, old NCRT, specifically mentions. A few of them were that he transferred the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. He started the, you can say, a duplicate token currency, right? So it is said that he led a annexation of Bengal and Odisha part also, right? And it was Firoz Shah Tughlaq basically where the decline of the Delhi Sultanate begins. Now, why this decline? Because understand, during the time of Iltutmish, Iktas, okay? Iktadari system or Iktas were brought into administration. Now, what is this Ikta? Ikta is a small tract of land, okay, which was given to the army personnel, right, in terms of a service, or which was given to a person in administrative post, right? So, what happens during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, we noticed that he had made this position of Iktas hereditary, and this led to Iktadari crisis. Now, this became one of the major reason for decline of the Delhi Sultanate. Is it clear? Although understand, UPSC is going to ask the question mostly based on your administrative and socio-economic parts. If you even pick up the past year questions, first of all, from medieval India, no much questions have been asked in entire history of UPSC, but they do focus on art and culture, on Bhaktism and Sufism. These are one of the favorite topics of UPSC.